Hi everyone, Shootbricks here. Today I'm going to talk about 5 things that LEGO animators are doing that's making their life harder. The first thing is using your hand to hold a prop when you're using masking. Even if you're not holding it directly with your hand, like here I'm holding a small rod to hold this little figure, your hand is incredibly big, and so it's going to make a huge shadow. Since your hand wasn't in the shot before, you're going to have to erase that whole shadow. That's one thing that beginners do, is they do masking and they erase the prop that the item is standing on, but they don't erase the shadow. And so you can see this weird thing in the middle. What I like to do is get a longer rod, like this clear piece you have here, and so my hand can be farther away from the set and you won't get a shadow. The second thing is with exposure and light flicker. A lot of people go to great lengths to put their blinds down so they get no sunlight, which is great. I do that too. They'll have three-way lighting like I do. They'll even wear dark clothes so when their arm goes in front of the camera it won't change exposure so much. But they still have light flicker. Why is that? Well, they don't lock the exposure. That is one of the most important things you can do to reduce light flicker. So if you're in Stop Motion Studio, you're going to just go to the manual settings, and depending on what device you're using, you should have a manual exposure, and so it's not going to automatically adjust when you stick your hand in front of the camera or you change what you're focused on. If you're using a camera, on like my Android, you have to tap and hold the screen to lock the exposure. It's a little bit annoying, but definitely worth it if you don't want light flicker. The third thing I see people do is they think they need to take a lot of pictures to make a good movie. Now that is true. One thing it seems like they forget to do is actually turn the FPS up. So they take like twice the pictures, but they still leave it at like 6 FPS. And then everything's really slow. If they would just turn the FPS up to, say, 10, it would look a lot better with very minimal effort. Especially with car chases. So the car will be inching along the road, and that is one thing that it's just painful to watch. They don't even have to take extra pictures. Just if you turn your FPS up a little bit, it's gonna go a little bit faster and it's gonna be a little bit smoother. So the next thing on the list is bad camera supports. Now I do this all the time. I actually posted a video where I had a shoebox, and in a shoebox on top of that shoebox in the boat, so I could get a bird's eye view. That is a very bad idea, because for one thing, I'm using a tablet, and so it's hanging over the edge, and so it's very easy for the tablet to fall over. Another thing is, with a shoebox, it's cardboard, and so you can kind of press on it and it bends a little bit. So if you tap your camera to take a picture, you have a very good chance of the camera moving, and so you get a lot of set bumps. So make sure you really plan out how you support your camera. Use some putty or tape to stick it down. It'll definitely be worth it in the long run. And the last thing on the list is copying the professionals. Now, you do want to watch the professionals and see what they're doing, but there are some things, if you're a beginner, amateur, it's better to figure out how to get smoother movements easing in and out than to just jump into doing like 24 FPS. Because if you don't have a lot of practice doing that, it's not going to look much better than 12 FPS, and it's going to be a ton of work. And the professional ones, like say Brickology, he does a new camera angle every like 4 seconds. Now camera angles can definitely add to the movie based on whatever tone you're going for, but a lot of times I'll see them like moving the camera and it's not steady, it's not smooth, and so it just looks like a bunch of set bumps. So if you're not good at moving the camera, just leave it in one place and just change it if the character goes to another scene or another part of the scene. It'll be a lot easier and the result will look just as good. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can watch all the brick films I've made, and over here you can see other tutorials. Oh, and click this blue round thing and subscribe. I don't think anyone ever pays attention to it. Thanks for watching.